2, 1.
All right, friends, for this video, you're going to need your math notebook, your pencil, the quadrilateral sheet I gave you in class today, and then your workbook page 805, 806. So go ahead and get that together now. All right, so let's open up to our next two clean sheets, which are going to be 140 and 141. So go ahead and number those two. And then we're going to title 141 Quadrilaterals. And then we're going to title 140 Quadrilateral Notes. They're both going to be our notes, but that way we have different titles for our table of contents. So go ahead and pause and do that now. All right, so we're going to be talking about quadrilaterals. And quadrilaterals are four-sided polygons. Quad, right here, quad means four. Lateral means sided, so it means four-sided. So quad means it's going to have four sides. Now, it says it's a four-sided polygon. A polygon is any closed figure made of three or more line segments. So this would be like one line segment, two line segments, three line segments, four line segments. That's why it's a quadrilateral. It's a polygon with four sides. It has four line segments. And that's what we're going to look at today. So let's get our sheet. I forgot you're also going to need some scissors and glue, so go get that real quick. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is take the sheet that I gave you and we're going to cut out each one of the squares. So let's do that first. Okay, the first one we're going to start with is the one that says quadrilaterals are polygons with four sides. Some quadrilaterals have specific names. So the most important part about this is quadrilaterals are polygons with four sides. So the most important part is four sides. So I want to take that one and we're going to glue it down first on 141. So go ahead and do that now. So the next one I want you to get is a rectangle. And if you look at the rectangle has four sides because it is a quadrilateral. It is a quadrilateral with four right angles. And then it says circle the right angles. I know it's a little blurry. Sorry. Not any better. All right. Well, it says circle the right angles. There we go. So we're going to come over here and I see that each one of the corners forms that perfect square. So those are the right angles. Then I also notice that I wrote a little note. It says two sets of parallel lines. This line and this line are parallel. They're never going to touch. They're the same distance apart. So my top line is parallel to my bottom line. Then my other set is this side, right here on the left, is parallel to this one on the right. They are never going to touch. They're exactly the same distance apart. So I want to go ahead and make that note also. So pause and make that note. All right, so we said rectangle, parallelogram, because it's got two sets of parallel lines, so it makes it a parallelogram. It has four right angles. So we're going to glue that one down. We'll glue it right under quadrilateral. Go ahead and do that now and then get out square. All right, so for square, it says a square is a rectangle. So a square is a type of rectangle. It has four sides of equal length. And it has four right angles. So each one of these makes a perfect square. So it says circle the right angles. So I made the right angles. You're going to circle those. And then it says highlight the equal sides. We're not going to highlight them. We're just going to make the lines that this one is the same as this one, which is the same as this one, and the same as this one. They're all the same. And because a square is a type of rectangle, because it does have 4 right angles, we're going to go ahead and put the square right next to the rectangle on our notebook paper. So a square is a 4-sided shape because it is a quadrilateral. It's got 4 sides. They're all equal and it has 4 right angles. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is a trapezoid. That is a quadrilateral because it has 4 sides, but this one only has 1 set of parallel sides. So a rectangle had 2 sets, square had 2 sets because it was all of them. The top and bottom were parallel to the left and the right. The trapezoid only has 1 pair of parallel sides. The top and the bottom are parallel to each other. They're never going to cross or intersect. These 2 lines are not, because if I keep extending them up, eventually they're going to touch. So make sure you have that note, and we're going to glue that one down right under rectangle. All right, the next one we're going to talk about is a rhombus. That is a parallelogram with 4 equal sides. So it has parallel sides. The top is parallel to the bottom, the left is parallel to the right, and it says equal sides. So it is a quadrilateral. It has 4 sides, and they're congruent. And congruent just means same size. So they are the same size. They are equal. So go ahead and make your lines and your note. All right, so we're going to glue our rhombus down next to our trapezoid in our notebook. All right, the last one we're going to talk about is a parallelogram. It is a quadrilateral, so it means it has 4 sides and 2 sets of parallel lines. The opposite sides are equal. So get your paper and we'll talk about what that looks like. All right, so both pairs of opposite sides are parallel. So this side is parallel to this side. This side is parallel to this side. They're not parallel to each other. This one's never going to touch this one. This one's never going to touch this one. That's why it has the word parallel in its name. It is a parallelogram. So let's glue that one at the top of page 140. So then it'll look like that. Okay, so for quadrilaterals, when talking about parallel sides, the ones that have 2 pairs of parallel sides, so like the top to the bottom, the left to the right, that's going to be a parallelogram, a rectangle, a square, and a rhombus. Now, the one with 1 parallel side, that's trapezoid, only the top and the bottom. That's the parallel. All the rest have 2 sets. So make sure you have that on page 140. So then 140, 141 is complete. Then get your workbook page. All right, so for 1, 2, 3, and 4, looking at the directions, it says write all the names right here that you can use for each quadrilateral. So that means there will be more than 1 name for some of them. So think about right here which ones it could be. Then you're going to answer 5, 6, and 7. Use your notebook. Then for 8, 9, 10, 11, you're doing the same thing. Write all the names for the quadrilaterals. So that means there's going to be more than 1 name. For the back, you're going to use the bar model for 12. Number 13, do you agree or do you disagree? You're going to have to think about what we said about squares, rectangles, and rhombuses. So pay attention. For 14, you're explaining yes or no. 15, pattern. 16, same thing. You're going to have to explain. 17, A, B, C, or D. And then 18, it's talking about perimeter for a quadrilateral. So think about right here. And if you need to, look in your notebook for your perimeter. If you have any questions, post them on Google Classroom. This workbook page is due tomorrow when you come in. Have a good night.